Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends, and today it's time to compare. The question has been asked in chat rooms, it's been asked on Twitch, it's been asked in comments on YouTube, and of course in Discord. Who is better for the clan boss attack down role? Is it defending champion and member of my Nightmare Clanboss team, a proud member of the Lizardmen, and one of the sexiest damn ugly ass beasts out there? Is it Jareg? Or from a proud lineage of people who live a really long time? Actually, I don't even know if that's true in this lore, but typically, the High Elves, is it Tayrel? The question, Jareg, Tayrel. They're both performing a similar role. No, but let's go through their kit before we decide and before we run it. A little preview, I have them both set up in the exact same gear. That is to say, right now, Tayrel is wearing Jareg's normal gear, all 6 pieces. Obviously, there's going to be slight variations due to the jewelry, but at the end of the day, this is the team we're gonna run. And Tayrel has got his A1 attack down. Now, of course, this is the key to the whole piece, which is attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 40% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. Mine's obviously fully buffed, so I get an extra 20% damage and an extra 10%, so there's a 50% chance on each hit. Statistically speaking, means it should hit every round. Now, RNG says statistics, go F yourselves, I'm the master here, but that's a pretty good A1 for the clan bosses. A2, also very useful, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the team composition that I use. Singing Steel level 1 has a 75% chance of placing a 60% decreased debuff for 2 turns. Don't worry about the sleep is irrelevant, of course, in the clan boss, but fully buffed has a 100% chance, so the only thing that can happen is base resist or glancing blow. Keeping in mind he is magic affinity. Let's not completely forget about his A3. Yes, it has a stun on it, which and a turn meter manipulator, but that is irrelevant in the clan boss. However, it does hit very hard, and that is a good piece to note. And finally, he's got an ally defense in all battles by 25%. Absolutely god tier, or at least baby god tier, maybe A tier. I don't know. I guess this would be god tier, and like 33% would be double S or double god tier. He has an ally defense in all battles. Now, this will not come into play on this first test. I will probably try Tayrel one more test. I don't know if I'll do it on this video. I'll probably have to break it up because I talk too much and this video is going to take too long otherwise. But so that is his kit. His base stats, his attack is low, his defense is pretty good, HP is a little bit low, speed's reasonable, it's okay, and the rest of it's just kind of within the wheelhouse there. Sorry. Now let's take a look at Jareg, and then that's where we can actually start to compare on paper the differences between the two. So Jareg, first thing to note is also on his A1 has a 35% chance of placing a 50% decreased debuff. Now the first thing I notice is it attacks 1 enemy rather than attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Has a 35% chance, but you got 45, 55. It actually ends up being 60%, and again 20% damage when fully booked. His A2 pack leader places a 50% ally protection and a 60% decreased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown when booked. And he has a passive, and it places a 15% continuous heal buff on an ally for 1 turn whenever an ally loses 20% of their max HP in 1 hit. And finally, he has also a god tier aura. He has HP battle in all battles by 33%. As far as statistics, HP, he is an HP hero, and it shows. Sorry, did it again. He has 23,000 hit points. That's a considerable amount more than Tayrel. His defense at 1,000 is reasonably lower, about 300 lower. Speed is only 1 higher, so it's irrelevant, and the last stats are all the same. So let's talk about the pluses and minuses of each of our champions. Now, first off, let's talk about auras, because I will actually be using Bulwark as my lead in this first round. I have a Steel Skull waiting, and once I get him into the mix and try to use him in Nightmare Clanboss, these guys will probably, I'll definitely be able to do the same test again using them as the lead so that we use their auras, which is a little bit of a difference, right? Obviously. The danger of putting them as the lead is that they will get stunned, and if your attack down gets stunned and you don't have any extenders, you could run into problems. But the big thing here, of course, let's talk about, so 33% HP is great, 25% defense is better, especially for the clan boss, because you want sustain, and defense will make each HP worth more. Diminishing returns on some of your higher end defensive champions, obviously. But let's just take him out because I am geared up here. Now let's take a look at total stats here. Ultimately, I would like more health and a little less defense on Tayrel. This is going to help his damage, but you get diminishing returns on the defensive aspect. So I'm not. I would ultimately I would like this to be a slightly different proportion, but obviously because this is actually just Jareg's gear, I just quite literally threw it on him. Just to try to keep everything as even as possible. We do have 5k defense and 34,000 HP. I would probably swap out his gloves for some. My preference actually would be to swap out his gloves with crit rate gloves, 60% crit rate gloves, or even 50%. I think you'd have enough, so he can hit 100% crit and do more damage himself with a good HP substat to get that HP up to closer to 40k. If I did it, his defense would still be around 4,400. That would be the perfect, for me, the perfect balance. So we can try that in a later video, but right now I just don't have the gold to do that. Plus, I want to keep the stats as evenly as possible. The other thing to note, of course, is that we're not getting that 25% defensive aura, which is definitely a perk for Tayrel, but because I need stuns to go on to Bulwark, to increase the chance of speed buffs, this is how it goes. So let's get in it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set this up for 2 turns just so that I can get those defense downs on a cycle. Hopefully Bulwark will make it irrelevant, but you never know. So the first turn we're going to hit that, and boom boom, there it's up. Didn't expect it not to be. We'll throw the HP burn on there as well, and then of course let's just put on that. Look at those beautiful, that was the perfect round of, oh no, he didn't get 1. Never mind. Alright, so round 2, we're going to do this. We're going to set the parameters of the use of their product. Now is the, because we did get we still have a 2 turn. I'm going to use this just to get it in the cycle, and that way I'll get him to use his A2 on the 3rd round so that he's exactly opposite Rosin, and then we'll put it in auto. We'll speed it up really quickly for you guys, so you don't have to listen to me blather on forever and ever. And then we'll come back to a dead clan boss, and we'll see what the damage is. Well, there we have it. The first thing to note, and first thing I will make note of, is the fact that my occult brawler does need some more work. I'd noticed this in the last couple of runs, and I thought maybe it was just RNG, but he clearly needs to be built up a little tankier so he can last for the rest of the team. 10 minutes is absolutely. I used to manual it to about 11 minutes, so 10 minutes on unlimited frames. That is a definite extension of the overall team health. So that's good. You see, Tayrel, a few things we want to note, and I'm gonna take a print screen of it so that I can get it. The first thing to note, obviously, Tayrel, 2 million damage. There was no point during that whole fight that attack down wasn't up. It was up from turn 1 straight through. There was no early death or RNG death because his attack down wasn't up. Clearly that is a factor, and 2 million damage is the lowest on the team, but he still did some damage, right? And so that's interesting to note. It is interesting to know that Skullcrasher actually out damaged Tayrel, and I think that's just because he if he had more crit rate, like I said, if I were to rebuild him, I'd put some crit rate on him to let him hit a little harder. That might change it. Bulwark, absolutely killing it with his burns and his hits. He's very undervalued. I think a lot of people don't realize the level of good that he is. I didn't even think he got a huge. I thought his. All right, now Jareg is in, same team otherwise, and let's see what happens. All right, we're going to stop it here and we're going to show you, because here's the case where, there it is. That's where he gets stunned because he didn't have the ally protect defense up. I'm guessing it's the defense up, but it could be either one that's causing it. But anyway, that then ruins his turn order, and that's the beginning of the end for this run. I wanted to jump in early because I felt like this is the moment that you need to see the problem with Jareg. Also, it's a double whammy. If we keep watching this, so there he doesn't land it. So we're on a 2-turn attack down cooldown. They're going to go through their runs again. Now, of course, counter attack is on a miss. It's not on the right turn order. Jareg missed his first one because we're on a 1-turn cooldown. Then he uses his ally protect rather than trying to buff it. So boom, that stun doesn't make sense to me because they all had the same thing. I'm not quite sure why he got stunned. The counterattack caused it. I don't understand it because the counterattack doesn't matter. But then boom, he misses it again, and that's the beginning of the end. We don't have attack down now. And then, they're using their heal ups, but guess what? All it takes is to miss again. Boom. 3 in a row missed, dead. And that's all because A, the counterattack wasn't up because of the missed turns, and B, because Jareg, the RNG of only getting 1 chance each time instead of 2 chances to land. So it's, instead of getting the 4 opportunities to land that attack down because of the proper counterattack, he only had 3. Well, actually had 3 instead of 5, I guess it would be, and he missed. Whereas Tayrel in that would have had 2 times. Each time would not have messed the turn order up, and everything would have been fine. And as you can see, this is an absolutely atrocious run for the team. 6 minutes and 36 seconds is absolutely not good. It's not what you want. 18 million is not a reasonable number. Occult Brawler's still doing about his damage, but all the rest of them way down because the run didn't last as long. So that's about it. I'm gonna do the voiceover on this and cut it so we don't have too long of a run here. But basically everything afterwards I say is just that Occult Brawler it needs to be worked on, but definitely in this particular team comp, Jareg does not work as well as Tayrel. Tayrel is the absolute better option in this particular scenario. There are other scenarios if you have a better extender like a Vizier or a Warlord, possibly. If you have a defense up that you can defense up, ally protect, that you can run off of opposite turns of Jareg so that it's always up on everyone. That would probably do it. Definitely a cleanse, which is the next scenario that I'm going to go with. We're going to try to get Steel Skull in instead of Bulwark. I still need some books before that happens, but definitely that's going to make a big difference. So there it is. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to cut her now and leave the rest of everything I said on the original take on the cutting room floor for time. But if you have any questions, concerns, please let me know. Leave it in the comments down below. Please check out Pink T-Shirt Day Anti-Bullying. It's February 27th. You see it. Be kind on my toque. If you want more information on what that is all about, I've said it in my previous videos, but I'll link it in the description down below. And most importantly, of course, hey, you know what? Keep your stick on the ice. Don't eat yellow snow. And be kind to each other.